Hey guys, Stealth Taylor. Welcome back to the War Room, episode 54. Now let's get started with what happened with Wargame Friday, in case you didn't watch the video. Friday I did a ranked game, and really the only ranked game, or the only reason that I still play ranked, is that I was doing it for my channel. I haven't played Wargame pretty much at all the last couple of weeks. The only reason I've been playing it is in order to get the channel to get new content. And that is usually not a good way to go about it. In the sense that you're going to start lagging behind, you don't know exactly what the newest features are, you don't know what the patches have done, and all of these things have caused me to, generally fall behind the community in that sense. And yeah, I still have, of course, the base knowledge of Wargame, although with all of the ranked stuff, I have been finding myself getting a little bit less self-confident about the game, in the sense that I get my ass handed to me time and time again in ranked. I think that I'm a decent player as far as team games go, such as this one, a 4v4. But ranked, the 1v1 super micromanagement, not really my thing. I really am going to need more training if I really want to pull that off. And Friday I was just feeling like the whole ranked video became a burden. Like it's something that I had to do, like it was part of a job. So I was not going into it with the best mindset, I wasn't going into it with the best deck. I just wanted to have some fun in Wargame, and I just wasn't having it. So hence came a sort of semi-rage quitting, screw this, I'm not going to make videos anymore moment. Which will not be the case, of course. When I've cooled down after one of those videos, I'm going like, okay, calm down. There's still enough fun to be had in Wargame. Just don't play ranked, as you guys have said pretty much most of the comments there. And yeah, I'll be continuing to playing Wargame. I'm just not going to be doing ranked anymore. So ranked Fridays are off for the moment, and replacing that will probably be, well, potentially ranked replays. So if you have a ranked game that you would like me to have a look at, send it in through the replay link down in the description. As for the rest, I'll be doing probably Wargame videos where I might be playing just in a standard 4v4 team, 2v2 matches, something like that. At least where you can coordinate, where you can push together on a flank, and where not all of the pressure falls onto you. And then, of course, as I mentioned previously, there is the element of having to do the commentary and the gameplay and the thinking. And some people are really, really good at that. I found myself not to be one of those people. I can do Wargame quite well, but when I'm tense, when I'm nervous about getting another loss, that's usually when things start to go wrong quite fast, as you have seen in quite a few of the ranked games. So don't worry, Wargame is still going to be on the channel, and I'll still be continuing to make videos on it. I'll probably be playing it every now and then, but it is not going to be in the form of ranked. That is just not something that I enjoy very much. And when I don't enjoy it, it won't really make sense if I try to record videos of it nonetheless. Because it's just going to be me raging, and well, I know that there's quite a few channels out there who are getting quite successful just because of such content, but that's not the way that I want to run this channel. So there it is. So other games that I have been playing are, for example, Civilization 6. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Civilization 6 can get a bit boring for me if there's no war. That may sound like I'm a big warmonger in Civilization 6, and well, you'd be right. The moment that there's no war, there's no challenge of sorts, I go, well, who can I bother? Who can I start to push out of their sector? Who can I deprive of their capital? And those things usually make the game more interesting for me. Just having a bit more stuff to do or to worry about. It might not be the best way to run your civilization. It might not be the best way to conduct business, but it's just the way that I enjoy playing Civ. And I've got to say, I've seen some weird stuff in Civilization 6. I'm not sure if you've been playing the game, but there's some stuff that has to be ironed out. There's some stuff such as, for example, the leaders with their agendas. That is just a bit weird. In case you're not playing Civilization 6, leaders now have agendas, which is sort of their program that they're trying to run, or something that they're trying to execute. And the thing with these is that you don't really know what they are. You just cannot see them. Unless you have a good level of diplomatic contact with that specific nation or with that specific leader. You just don't know what they want to do, you just don't know what they are expecting. And it seems that these agendas are randomly generated. Of course, they are more or less sticking to the type of leader that you're looking at. So for example, Gandhi is still going to be trying to be peaceful. Whereas, of course, in Civilization 4 and 5, he was quite famous for all the wrong reasons, for trying to nuke everyone. Well, I haven't had that happen yet. But some of these traits from leaders, these hidden agendas, can clash. Whereas, for example, Cleopatra sent me a message when I had quite a decent amount of military units saying, hey, you need to get a bigger military. And then 2 minutes later, when I built maybe one more unit, she said, yeah, now I respect you because you have a bigger military. It's just weird stuff. It's like these leaders have some sort of bipolar something, I don't know. Same thing happened when some of these leaders said, hey, look, I only like you when you don't have a large civilization. And then they get another trait of their hidden agenda, which is saying, I only respect civilizations that are large, so which have a lot of settlements. And it's just this weird, contradictory thing that you cannot really make sense of. But I haven't had a lot of luck and a lot of good times with Civilization 6. It is quite expensive, especially if you buy it on Steam. I believe it's 60 euros there. I found it on Paladin Gaming. I think it's .uk. I'll have the link in the description. For 45 euros. And no, it's not some sort of scam site. It's just a site where they have discount deals, which really, really helps. So, Paladin Gaming, if you want to get Civilization 6, I recommend you do it there. Now, I haven't been playing Battlefield 1 at all, because I personally don't really enjoy fast FPS like that. But let me know what your thoughts are on Battlefield 1. Is it any good? I mean, I have seen some really, really weird things happen there, where clearly the gameplay aspect of it seems to be taking over rather than the historical aspect. I mean, the Mark I tank, you know, the initial tank, it's not supposed to be doing 25 to 30 kph. It just couldn't do it. I believe that its cruising speed was the speed of infantry, so say 4 to 5 kilometers an hour. I mean, that's the advancement speed of infantry usually. But in Battlefield 1, I have seen those tanks just go on a rampage and push through like they're a T-72. But I haven't played it yet. I'm probably not going to, but I was just curious how many of you are playing the game and if it's any good. Other stuff that I've been doing is World of Warships. Now, I already mentioned previously that if you have the British cruiser line, it is a tough grind until you hit tier 6-ish. At tier 6, stuff starts to get better. It starts to get easier. And at tier 6, you get these pretty damn good Leander-class cruisers. Sure, they are not very survivable still. I don't think that the British line will ever be survivable, in the sense that you don't have armor. They are survivable in their agility and their maneuverability. And they also have the smokescreen generator, which makes it a lot more easy to get yourself into cover in a moment's notice. The thing that they have as a problem with their smoke is that they puff out only 2 circles of smoke, and that it's therefore a very small smokescreen. Meaning that your smokescreen really has to make sure you cover the ship. You just cannot puff out a smokescreen like a destroyer does and then jump back into it. You have to slow down to about 15 knots, and preferably slower, before you start puffing out the smokescreen. With that, you should have enough smoke or enough speed to make sure that it doesn't really matter that much. Something else that the British cruisers have is, of course, the AP. And initially I was like, okay, I'm going to probably miss my high explosive rounds, because AP is not suitable in every situation. But gradually you learn to position yourself better, to get into a position where you can do a lot more with your AP, where you start to get shots on broadside ships. So positioning with the British cruisers, I'd say, is more important than with most of the other cruisers. Most of the other cruisers can get away with trying to push up quite aggressively. But if you take a hit in a British cruiser, you're bound to lose about 15 to 20% of your hit points, so be very, very careful there. Other things I've been playing is mostly Fallout 4 still. I have the survivor mode on, or the survival mode, and that makes the game a lot more slow, in the sense that you get more experience, so you level up faster, but your progression through the game, especially with the mod that I'm running, which is the one that I mentioned last week, the War in the Commonwealth, going from A to B no longer is available through fast travel. So you have to go through entire war zones in order to get from A to B. And just getting from, for example, Sanctuary to, let's say, not the Red Rocket Truck Stop, but the cinema, the drive-in cinema, Starlight Drive-in, that's what it's called. That can take you about 10 minutes before you safely make your way from A to B. So I have to really be a lot more strategic about the way that I try to engage in that game. In the sense that normally you can just fast travel from here to there. But now, that's no longer an option, so you have to plan your expeditions. You cannot just pick up every single weapon and hope for the best. You cannot just go in and try and get all the ammo that you possibly can pick up, because ammo now has weight. And all of these things make the game a lot more challenging. So if you haven't tried it yet, Survival 4 Survival Mode. Really, really good game. Really, really recommended. Other things that I recommend lately are two TV shows that we're following. Westworld and Designated Survivor. Starting off with the latter, Designated Survivor is a TV show about Kiefer Sutherland, you know, the guy from 24. He's pushed into a position of presidency. He is the designated survivor. So if something happens to multiple layers of government, so let's say the president, the vice president, and other people in the line of succession, then the designated survivor becomes the one who gets the presidency. And that's something that just happens to be exactly the situation in this show. It is forcing this guy to go into positions or to go into mindsets that he never even considered, that he doesn't even want to go into. And it's causing all sorts of dilemmas. Are you going to go with your instinct, with your gut, with your basically with your own standard personality, or are you going to go with a more political version of yourself just in order to survive? And of course, it's Kiefer Sutherland. It's that really raw voice that just, well, it's something that I can listen to for days. That's Designated Survivor. It's available on Netflix. New episode being released every week. And I can really, really recommend it. I believe that there are 4 episodes up right now, so you can binge at least a little bit. And let me know what your thoughts are if you have watched the show, or if you are going to after hearing this recommendation. And the other show is one from HBO. I believe it is, as they mentioned, one of the most expensive shows lately. Westworld is about a sort of theme park, or at least that's the way that it's portrayed. It's portrayed as a Wild West situation, or Wild West scenario, where I believe that the best explanation of it would be you can do basically everything you can do in Grand Theft Auto as well. So the game or the park has a sort of storylines that you can engage in. And it is an actual park. It is a physical location that you move into. But it is absolutely huge. It has a lot of terrain surrounding it. and all of this, all of the characters are made up out of bots, out of robots. These robots get their memory wiped at the end of every day, so that they're getting reset, as it were. And then the whole day starts again, and once again, as a guest, you can do whatever you like. But what happens when something starts to go wrong in the programming of these robots? What happens when they start to behave erratically? When they get a behavioral patch, I believe it was called. It's going to make for some really, really interesting situations. There's a lot of mystery involved. There's a very, very good cast involved. I believe it's one of the first few times that Anthony Hopkins is in fact a character or an actor who's being cast for a show instead of a movie. And he's another one of those actors with an amazing voice and just a lot of charisma, and just someone you can watch for, well, again, for days. About the channel this week, I'll be doing more Wargame, as mentioned. I'll be doing a bit more World of Warships than usual. I'm trying to get that game a bigger place on my channel. Now, I don't play battleships at all. I find them to be too slow, not very interesting to fire one shot every 20 seconds, if that. So I don't really play World of Warships with battleships. But if you guys want me to, I'll definitely be able to find a replay somewhere of a battleship and cast that. Otherwise, what you can expect is just a lot of cruiser gameplay and mostly destroyer gameplay, because those are the ship types I enjoy playing. And yes, there is the type of aircraft carrier that you can bring, but the aircraft carriers are just not in a very good spot right now. Lately in World of Warships there has been a bit of a change, where the way that the amount of credits and XP that you gain is calculated is different. Normally, what you got was, for example, a set amount of XP for doing damage. That has been reduced, and now you need to be a bit more of a team player in that sense. You need to be able to go for captures, you need to be able to tank damage, you need to be able to spot the enemy. Well, those three things are things that carriers just don't do. Carriers are sitting in the back, they don't move forward and try to capture territory. They don't move forward and try to spot ships, and they definitely don't tank damage. So, a game, for example, in my premium tier 7, the Saipan, which normally would net me about 450,000 credits, now nets me 250,000 credits when I'm doing the same type of damage. And that's just the rewards. And this is something that most aircraft carriers are struggling with. And then of course there's the AA, which at high tiers, tier 8, tier 9, tier 10, is just really, really difficult to beat. Normally you can basically strike any target and you might lose a plane or two. But with the new patch, or with the patch a couple of, well, I think it's about 6 to 8 weeks ago by now, it is just completely different. It is more difficult to snipe targets, it is less rewarding to go for damage, or to go to carriers in general. But word has it that that's going to change sometime in January. Then they're going to look at the aircraft carriers and do some sort of rebalance with them. But what exactly that is going to be, I don't know yet. We'll have to see. Anyway, long story short, more Wargame, more World of Warships, potentially some Civilization 6. I'm still not entirely sure about that. And basically those are the games that I've been playing. I haven't been playing From the Depths either, so I haven't been making videos about that. So I'll just have to look and see if there's another game that gets my attention and that is video worthy. And if you have any recommendations for that, let me know in the comments down below. And that's it for this week's War Room. A bit shorter than usual, but I just didn't have that much to talk about. So I hope you have a good week. I hope you have fun playing whichever games you're playing, whether it be Battlefield 1, World of Warships, maybe any of the newer games. I believe Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is coming out soon. Let me know what you're playing, let me know what you'd like to see on the channel, and have a good week, and I'll see you soon for more videos.